I am Noelle Falashi, and I will be reading Alistair, or The Spirit of Solitude, by Percy Shelley. Earth, ocean, air, beloved brotherhood, if our great mother has imbued my soul with aught of natural piety to feel your love, and recompense with boon with mine, if dewy morn at odorous noon, and even with sunset and its gorgeous ministers, and solemn midnight's tingling silentness, if autumn's hollow sighs in the sere wood, and winter robing with pierced snow and crowns, with starry ice the grey grass and bare boughs, if spring's voluptuous paintings when she breathes, her first sweet kisses have been dear to me, if no bright bird, insect, or gentle beast I consciously have injured, but still loved and cherished, those are my kindred. Then forgive this boast, beloved brethren, and withdraw no portion of your wonted favor now. Mother of this unfathomable world, favour my solemn song, for I have loved thee ever, and thee only. I have watched thy shadow in the darkness of thy steps, and my heart ever gazes on the depth of thy mysteries. I have made my bed in charnels and on coffins, where black death keeps records of the trophies run from thee, hoping to still these obstinate questionings of thee and thine by forcing some lone ghost, thy messenger, to render up the tale of what we are. In lone and silent hours, when night makes a weird sound of its own stillness, like an inspired and desperate alchemist, staking his very life on some dark hope, have I mixed awful talk and asking looks with my most innocent love, until strange tears, uniting with those breathless kisses, made such magic as compels this charmed night to render up thy charge. And though ne'er yet thou hast unveiled thy inmost sanctuary, coming from incommunicable dream, and twilight phantasms, and deep noonday thought, has shone within me, and serenely now, and moveless as the long-forgotten lyre, suspended in solitary dome, of some mysterious and deserted fame. I wait thy breath, great parrot, that my strain may modulate with murmurs of the air, and motions of the forest and the sea, and the voice of living beings, and woven hymns of night and day, and the deep heart of man. There was a poet whose untimely tome no human hands with pious reverence reared, but the charmed eddies of autumnal winds build o'er his mouldering bones a pyramid of mouldering leaves in the waste wilderness, a lovely youth, no morning maiden decked with weeping flowers or votive Christmas wreath, the lone couch of his everlasting sleep, gentle and brave and generous, no lone bard to breathe o'er his dark fate one melodious sigh. He lived, he died, he sung, in solitude. Strangers have wept to hear his passionate notes, and virgins as unknown he passed have pined, and wasted for fond love of his wild eyes. The fire of those soft oars has ceased to burn, and silence soon now run of that voice, lock its mute music in her rugged cell. By solemn vision and bright silver dream, his infancy was nurtured. Every sight and sound from the vast earth and ambient air sent to his heart its closest impulses. The fountains of divine philosophy fled not from his thirsting lips, and all of great or good or lovely which is sacred past, in truth or fable consecrates, he felt and knew. When early youth had passed, he left his cold fireside and alienated home to seek strange truths in undiscovered lands. Many a wide waste and tangled wilderness he has lured his fearless steps, and he brought with his sweet voice and eyes from savage men his rest and food. Nature's most secret steps he like her shadow has preserved, where the volcano over canopies its fields of snows and pinnacles of ice, with burning smoke, or where bitumen lakes on black bare pointed islets ever beat, with sluggish surge, or where the secret cave is rugged and dark, winding among the springs of fire and poison, inaccessible to avarice or pride. Their starry domes of diamond and gold expand above numberless and immeasurable halls, frequent with crystal column and clear shrines of pearl, and thrones radiated with crystal light. Nor had the scene of ampler majesty that gems or gold, or the varying roof of heaven and the green earth lost in its heart its claims. To love and wonder he would linger long, and lonesome vales make the wild his home, until the doves and squirrels would partake from his innocuous hand his bloodless food. Lured by the gentle meanings of his looks and the wild antelope that starts whene'er the dry leaf rustle in the brake, suspend her timid steps to gaze upon a form more graceful than her own. His wandering step, obedient to high thoughts, has visited the awful ruins of the days of old, Athens and Tyre, and Baalbek and the wastes where stood Jerusalem, and the fallen towers of Babylon, the eternal pyramids, Memphis and Thebes, and whatsoever of strange sculptured on alabaster obelisk, or jasper tome, or mutilated sphinx, dark Ethiopia in her desert hills conceals. Among the ruined temples there, suspended columns and wild images of more than man, where marble daemons watch the zodiac's brazen mystery, and dead men hang their mute thoughts on the mute walls around. He lingered, poring on memorials of the world's youth, through the long burning day. Gaze on those speechless shapes, not when the moon filled the mysterious halls with floating shapes, suspended he that task, but ever gazed and gazed, till meaning on his vacant mind flashed like strong inspiration, and he saw the thrilling secrets of the birth of time. Meanwhile, an Arab maiden brought his food, her daily portion from her father's tent, and spread her matting for his couch, and stole from duties and repose to tend his steps. Enamored, yet not daring for deep awe to speak her love, and watch his nightly sleep, sleepless herself to gaze upon his lips, parted in slumber whence the regular breath of innocent dreams arose. Then, when red morn made paler the pale moon to her cold home, wilder and wan, panting she returned. The poet wandered on, through Arabia and Persia and the wild Carmanian wastes, and over the aerial mountains which pour down in dissonances from their icy caves. And joy and exultation held his way till the vale of Kashmir, far within, in loneliest dell which odorous plants entwine. Beneath the hollow rocks a natural bower, beside the sparkling rivulet he stretched his languid limbs. A vision on his sleep, there came a dream of hopes that never yet had flushed his cheeks. He dreamed a veiled maid sat near him, talking in low solemn tones. Her voice was like the voice of his own soul, heard in the calm of thought, its music long, like woven sounds of streams and breezes, held his inmost sense suspended in its web. A many-colored woof and shifting hues, knowledge and truth and virtue were her theme. The lofty hopes of divine liberty, through thoughts the most dear to him, and poesy, herself a poem. Soon the solemn mood of her pure mind kindled with all her frame. A permeated fire, wild numbers then, she raised a voice stifled in tremulous sobs, subdued by its own pathos. Her fair hands were bare alone, sweeping from some strange symphony, and in their branching veins, the eloquent blood told an ineffable tale. The beating of her heart was heard to fill the pauses of her music, and her breath tumultuously accorded with those fits of intermitted song. Suddenly she rose, as if her heart impatiently endured its bursting burden. At the sound he turned and saw the warm light of their own life, her glowing limbs beneath a sinuous veil of woven wind, her outspread arms now bare, the dark locks floating on the breath of night, her beaming bending eyes, her parted lips outstretched and pale and quivering eagerly. His strong heart sunk and sickened with excess of love. He reared his shuddering lids and quelled his gasping breath, and spread his arms to meet her panting bosom. She drew back a while, and yielding to the irresistible joy, with frantic gesture and short breathless cry, folded his frame in her dissolving arms. No blackness veiled his dizzy eyes, and night involved and swallowed up the vision. Sleep, like a dark flood suspended in its course, rolled back its impulse on his vacant brain. Roused by the shock, he started from his trance. The cold white light of morning, the blue moon, low in the west, the clear and garish hills, a distinct valley, and the vacant woods, spread round him where he stood. Whither had fled the hues of heaven that canopied his bower of yesternight? The sounds that soothed his sleep, the mystery and majesty of earth, the joy, the exultation. His wan eyes gain on the empty scene as vacantly as ocean's moon looks on the moon in heaven. The spirit of sweet human love has sent a vision to sleep of him who spurned her choicest gifts. He eagerly pursues beyond the realms of dreams that fleeting shade. He overleaps the bounds, alas, alas! where limbs and breath and being intertwined, thus treacherously lost, lost, forever lost. In the wide pathless desert of dim sleep, that beautiful shape, does the dark gated death conduct to thy mysterious paradise, O sleep? Does the bright arch of rainbow clouds and pendant mountains seen the calm lake lead only to black and watery death, while water, blue vault with loathly vapors hung with every shade with the foul grave exhaled, hide its dead eye from the tested day, conduct, O sleep, to thy delightful realms. And if doubt with sudden tide float on his heart, the insatiate hope which it awakens stung his brain even like despair. Thank you.